What's up, guys? It's Gardy B with the Jenkins Jonez show. As always, I'm here with my good internet buddies, Dragonfly Jones, a.k.a. Tyler.
What's up, guys?
With Jethro Jenkins, a.k.a. John.
What's up, bubbas? And if you fuck with us, you want to see more of our content, please jump on YouTube and subscribe to our channel.
We're very excited to welcome one of our favorite guests, one of our favorite people on the internet and in the world, Shea Serrano, who is having a hell of a fucking week. He has a new book out, Hip Hop and Other Things, and you're going to make it a bestseller or we're going to come to your house and beat you up. And he just had his show is just picked up and greenlit for production that he's doing with Mike Schur. So Shea, how are you doing, man?
I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling okay right now.
Feeling victorious out this motherfucker.
As of today, as of Wednesday. We'll see what happens this afternoon. But right now, feeling pretty good.
So how is the whole, book launch grind? Like is it exhausting? Is it fulfilling? Is it all of that shit or what? Like what's the emotional roller coaster you're on right now?
It's a little bit of everything. Like I'm certainly busier than I am normally. Most days I just show up in my office, type some stuff into my computer, send some tweets, and then I go home. That's it from like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. When it's, the week before and the week of book release, every day I've got interviews from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., different whatever. So it's tiring a little bit, but also it's always fun to talk about a thing that you just spent a year and a half working on and you're excited to get it out there. And but you're also terrified. What if everybody hates this shit? What if somebody says something bad about it, which inevitably always happens? What if, you got 1,000 things going on in your head all at the same time. But right now on this show, I'm feeling A-okay.
How do you balance all that out? You know what I mean? Because being public facing, having 500,000 fucking followers, you see a lot of the good and the bad. You know what I mean? How do you balance that out? I know mentally that must be a struggle. You know what I'm saying? Even I know 100 people can say something good. One person says something bad. You want to pull up at their house and slap the shit out their ass. You know what I mean? How do you not slap the shit out of a human?
That is exactly how it feels. You know what happened recently? So Bun B did the foreword for the book, for the Hip Hop and Other Things. And Bun B is one of my favorite rappers ever, of all time. One of the smartest, most insightful people I've ever met, just even outside of rap, just in my life, just getting to talk to him. And I was at an event one time and he was rapping, he was performing up on stage, and these two guys got into a fight right in front of him, in the front row of the concert. He was performing the song Murder, which fucking rules. And so these two guys get into a fight while he's rapping to Murder. And you would assume, and mostly everybody else in that situation, they would have stopped rapping and they'd been like, "Hey, security, get these guys out of here. We got to keep this room safe," or whatever bullshit like that. But he didn't do that. He just kept on rapping. He looked right at him and then just kept going. And the two guys, there's a cadence to a fight. If you get into a fist fight with someone, you bump into them, they get mad, you get mad, they shove you, you shove them, somebody swings, you fight for 15 seconds. And then people pull you apart. That's how it's supposed to go.
Right.
That's the cadence of the fight. But that didn't happen here. They started fighting. He kept rapping. They were like, "What the fuck is going on?" And they just sort of stopped fighting. They just quit. They were just like, "I guess we're done." And then the crowd gathers back in, and we just continue on with the show. And I asked Bun about it. "Do you remember when this happened? Why did you not stop or say something?" And he told me he learned some lesson early on in his career. Too Short had told him, when you're up on stage and you have the microphone, wherever you direct your energy, that's where the crowd would direct their energy. So if you focus on the bad shit, everybody else will focus on the bad shit. So if I had tried to stop the fight, it might have spilled over, and then instead of 2 people fighting, we now have 8 people fighting, and then 17 people fighting, and then it's a fucking very dangerous situation. So if I just don't address it, if I just focus on y'all will focus on me, and it'll settle itself out. And it's the same sort of thing on the internet. If I focus my energy on all the bad shit, that energy grows, is what it feels like. But if I only worry about the good stuff, or at least only project the good stuff, or amplify the good stuff, then it's better energy. So there you go.
Leave it to Bun B to teach lessons while rapping about murder. You know what I mean?
Fucking
What
Bun B is
a
the
fucking
best.
guy.
The king of moving
best.
chickens, not no finger licking. Yeah, that's the Bun man.
Verse. It's the best verse in Southern rap
yeah.
history.
I think it's for sure the best Bun B verse, for sure.
It's the best overall. It's best verse in Southern rap. Find a better one. You can't.
I'm a big fan of MJG's verse on Bezel on T on trap music.
Oh my god! I can't
fucking
even put
love
that in the same conversation. Get out of here.
Nah, come on, man.
MJG
Come on,
is
man.
slept on though. You know what I'm
Super
saying?
slept on.
A-Ball was rapping too. He was
For
just
sure.
very, very problematic if you listen to it now. But you know what I mean? But like A-Ball was fucking rapping too, man.
He was, but he wasn't doing what Bun B is fucking Game 6 Michael Jordan on that song. Like, you just, what can you do?
Yeah,
We're talking about a god. Yeah, that makes sense.
Shay, I want to ask you about a book release. You've written, obviously written a lot online. I know you started out writing for, a newspaper. Books are fucking weird because like you said, you worked on it for a year and a half with no outside feedback. No, hey, I loved this, or hey, this was really funny. Is that hard? I mean, I personally have found that about writing, but I don't like it. You know what I mean? It's like you're in your office working you're working by yourself for a long time before you get that connection with a reader. Is that difficult for you? And does that make this week sort of, more fun than when you have a big article or something drop?
It was definitely more difficult the first time that I did it because I wasn't used to it. At this point, this is my fourth one. I know what that process looks like. So I just sort of lean into it, and it becomes like cool that I get to work on this one big project for 18 months that nobody else gets to see. The only other person who read anything, the editor, of course, has to read it. But even then, I don't send them one chapter at a time. I write like 18 chapters before I turn them into them, and then I send them all at once. You know what I'm saying? So the only person who really got to see anything beforehand was this guy named Dart Adams. He was a fact checker and the researcher for the book. He's a fucking rap historian genius. He was the only one who saw anything ahead of time, and that was it. Arturo, the illustrator, every once in a while would ask to read a thing as well. But I get to like get in my little bunker and only work on this thing, and it's just like it just becomes like a fun little like a secret that I'm doing. I don't even tell like anybody what the chapters are about. I didn't realize it until yesterday when the book came out that I never one time like put a chapter list out there or anything. I was just like, here's the whole fucking book, buy it or don't. But it's fun now because there are just so few other avenues where you get to just only be the voice in this one thing without any outside interference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
for sure. So, the format of your whole And Other Things trilogy that you got, it's always the chapters are kind of formed as questions, right? And so, on this Hip Hop and Other Things, I'm looking at the chapter listing, and it's got some really interesting questions, as do all of your books, which I love. They always come from left field, but they're always so fucking entertaining to read. Like one chapter is, what did the chickens have to say about Project Pat's chicken head? Right? And when was Young Jeezy the most motivating on Thug Motivation 101? And what's your favorite ninja rap moment? And I'm just curious, where do you get how do these questions and these premises for these chapters come to you?
Well, usually they're reverse engineered. So like I have a thing that I know I want to write about in the book. Like with, I knew I wanted to write about Thug Motivation 101. Number one, because it's one of my favorite albums of all time. And number two, because it was like a flag planting moment in rap. So let's write about that. And then it just becomes like, okay, well, if I know I want to write about that, how do I write about it in a way that hasn't already been written? That's the hardest part, is figuring out how to do a thing that hasn't been done yet. Because essentially, everybody who writes about rap is writing about like the same 15 things. We're all gonna write. We're all gonna write about Tupac and Biggie. We're all gonna write about Illmatic. We're all gonna whatever. Like they're the moments everybody's gonna write about. You have to figure out how to do it without doing the same thing someone has already done. So then you just sit there for fucking a few hours and you read every interview you can, and you read every review that you can, and you read every profile or that's been written. And then you just are trying to like find a way in, and eventually you figure something out. And sometimes it's like pretty easy with the Thug Motivation 101. The album is literally called Thug Motivation 101. The first thing you hear on the album is Young Jeezy yelling, "Let's get it." Like that's the point of the album. He's being motivational. Well, there you go. That's an easy one to fill in. That one took like 10 seconds. But the chickens one that you mentioned, what did the chickens have to say about Project Pat's Chicken Head? When you read the chapter, it's not really about the chickens and it's not really about Project Pat's Chicken Head song. Like that's the entry point. But really what it's about is like, what's the single most identifiable opening second of a rap song? And then it becomes about that. But then you just, you work backwards. You figure out the thing you want to write about, and then you just try some shit until you get to a good spot.
For sure. And the bass drop on Back That Ass Up gets my vote for that, by the way. So
yeah, it's a great one.
Yeah.
There's a chapter that debates like the best album of like I think 2010 to 2019.
Yeah.
Like Good Kid, Mad City, or like My Beautiful Twisted Dark Fantasy. I wanted to know what if like aliens came to this planet and you had to present an album from like the last 3 decades. I don't give a fuck about 80s rap. I'm gonna be honest with you. So like the 90s.
a lot of people feel like that. That's okay.
That's George Mike and rap to John. He does not fuck with the pivot
Big
step.
Bob Cousy vibes, Yeah.
I mean,
dribbling left with the right hand. You know what I mean?
I think that's a mistake, but I understand.
I respect it. If you had to present a rap album to the aliens to like, prove our worth from the last 3 decades, which albums would you choose?
I get one album. Like, hey,
one
this
from
is
each
why
decade. Because I mean, saying the best album of 30 decades.
Oh, okay.
30 years is rough, yeah.
I got you. Okay, so then if we're doing, let's include the 80s because it's going to take 5 seconds. If we go from 1980 to 1989, give me Eric B. and Rakim Paid in Full.
Yes. Okay. I tried to get John on that. That's the one I was like, bro, if you don't like 80s rap, you will like this. He's like, nah, I still don't. Bro,
no,
because I don't know if I listened to it. I might not listen to it, bro. But I'll try it. I guess
that one's good. That
feel
one
like
is good.
Even if you don't like 80s rap, you'll like Rakim because he's so fucking futuristic, bro. You know what I'm saying?
He was the first guy who like understood he was rapping in a recording booth and not on stage.
Exactly.
So he wasn't doing what everybody else was doing. He was fucking. Right. He changed everything. He changed every single thing.
He jumped when he shot his jump shot. You're saying he was jumping Joe. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah,
you can't jump while
playing
defense.
He brought the ball up to the top of his head and shot it like that. He was like, "Oh shit! Oh, we should do that."
But yeah, that's exactly the point. Like all the rappers before Rakim, they were rapping for the party. Rakim was rapping for your headphones. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, Rakim, he was the meteor that killed the dinosaurs. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you don't like 80s rap, Rakim is the definitive marker on where, the fucking game shifted.
Next time it rains in Cali, I'll tap in. Next time it rains, I'll tap in.
I'm going to hold you to that shit, man. Rakim's one of my favorites, though.
It's also a really good album if you have kids and you like still want to listen to rap. You can put that one on and you're 100% safe. You're 100% safe.
That's a great recommendation. Actually, I appreciate that. That's good. I just sort of gave it up with my son, who's in 3rd grade now. We're just like, you know what? it is what it is. But
there's gonna be a lot of Big Moochie Grape being played in my car. She doesn't have to get used to it. So what are the other 3 albums? Yeah.
So from 1980 to 1989, we're going Eric B. and Rakim Paid in Full. 90 to 99 is the most difficult decision to make there. Because that's when rap exploded. That's when everybody did all of the new shit. Every year, you had a Tribe Called Quest in 91. You had Dr. Dre in 92. You had Snoop and Wu-Tang in 93. You had Nas in 94. Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, Lil' Kim, Missy Elliott, DMX. Like, motherfucker. You can pick any one of those. But I think if it's aliens we're talking about, you need it to sound a certain way. You need it to sound welcoming. You need it to sound like accessible to alien ears.
Okay,
I think it has. I think it has to be. You can't play DMX. If you play DMX, they're fucking shooting bombs at us immediately.
I think I know where we're going here.
Immediately. It's one of two things. Same reason you can't play Wu-Tang. If you play Wu-Tang, if they hear fucking protect your neck, they're just gonna slit your throat immediately. So it's either 1997 Super Duper Fly Missy Elliott. Because I'm almost certain aliens have heard that.
I didn't think that.
or Doggy Style, Snoop,
Oh, wow.
1993. 1993. The G-Funk is maybe my favorite subgenre of rap. They took all of the like harsh, sharp edge heaviness of gangster rap from the 80s and they just turned it into fun. It went from crack to weed and it was like, let's put this on. They would like, I feel like they would like Nate Dogg a whole bunch. Who doesn't fucking love Nate Dogg? So there you go. There's your pick there.
Mike's penis is fucking floating right now. That shit is fucking just levitating.
My heart just grew 10 sizes on the Long Beach shout outs from Shea. Absolutely. G-Funk is like absolutely a genre of music where you're like, if the aliens are a microbacterial virus or if they are like bigger than the sun, no living thing would not like G-Funk.
No.
Like, anything that can take music in would love G-Funk. I'm with you on that.
I thought you might say Outkast too. I thought you might lean
that's
Outkast.
what I thought he was going. I thought he was going like the Coon Out ATL and stuff.
If we have to pick one single song, only one song ever, then it's Outkast. It's Elevators by Outkast. That's what it is. But a whole album, if you get that much real estate, I think Missy's Super Duper Fly is a safe bet there.
Okay.
Because it's 24 years old and we still haven't gotten to it yet. You know what I'm saying?
Haven't caught up yet. Nope.
We're so far behind. Okay, so there's 90 to 99. 2000 to 2009. Oof. You got a couple of good ones in there. The first one that comes to mind is Lord Willin' by Clips. I think that's I think that's a contender.
Now Tyler's penis is floating. A lot of floating penises. Hey, Nelly, man, we're gonna explode, bro.
Wake up in the morning for sensual rap recommendations with Shea Serrano.
Shea playing to the crowd right now. I love it, man. Yeah.
A lot of cop talk going on today.
So that's one of the options. I would love for them to hear Pusha T and Malice. You probably would consider Get Rich or Die Trying, of a pivotal moment. Of one of the, I think still that came out in 2002, 2003. Still no rap album has ever sold more copies than that one since that one came out. Like that's the top right there. That's a crazy rap stat. Outkast. What was it when they did the double album? When you when you sell that one, you get double credit. So they technically had more sold, but really they didn't.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if we've ever seen I don't know if I've ever seen a rapper have a higher peak than 0356.
No, you didn't. You didn't. I mean,
doing the same thing he beats with another rapper about, which is like singing on fucking songs, you know?
Yeah. It was the perfect rapper at the perfect moment because gangster rap had been dead since Tupac and Biggie passed, since they were murdered. Everybody was like, well, I don't know if we feel like that anymore. And then Puff shows up and they're like, yeah, this is more fun. Let's do that. And then Eminem and DMX was probably like the beginning of it again, but 50 Cent was like, here's how you make it fun.
Right.
Anyway, Lord Willin', Get Rich or Die Trying. We talked about Thug Motivation 101. I think that might be my pick. I think Thug Motivation 101. I like the South. I'm a Southern guy. I'm a Texas boy.
Yeah.
I think the aliens are gonna feel good about that.
That's summer 05 when TM 101 dropped.
Bro,
oh my God.
Forget about it.
It took all the space. It took all the lanes. You know what I mean? It was incredible, dog. You know what I mean? No room for nothing else. Shocked the shit out of me.
And then I guess 2010 to 2019, I would probably go Good Kid, Mad City. I think it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful album. It has so many parts and pieces to it. It does all of the stuff you need an album to do. You have, number one, the starring role in it. And I think this is why you picked this over My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, because Kanye was late in his career. He was doing his like redemption tour for the Taylor Swift debacle. He was like the master of the symphony. He had 1,000 pieces in there and he's showing you he can control all of them all at once. Meanwhile, Good Kid, Mad City is the opposite. It's just one kid at the beginning of his career, and he's at the center of everything. And you just got a few people orbiting around him. You got the J-Rock verse that's on there. Come on, get the fuck out of here. You got It's like one long story that's told from the middle back to the end, and then the beginning, and then the middle again. It all fucking ties together. I think there you go. There's the 4 albums to play for the aliens. Thanks for listening, aliens.
Can I? It's such a funny question, John, because we, for whatever reason, that's like a question we ask is like, what movie would you show the aliens, or like what TV show? But we never think about like if we find life on Mars, the first thing we're doing is like, what's your best album? Like, we only think about it when people coming here and the aliens are like, it's a new world. They have these things called trees. And the first thing they are is like, you got any good TV shows?
Yeah. That's just how dumb humans are. They show up with lasers and proton blasters. And we're like, hey, you want to listen to Nas? You want to hear Illmatic? Check this out. That's how stupid we are.
I think aliens would actually appreciate music because I view like this, because if you're advanced enough to fucking master interstellar travel, right? Math is the core of your whole shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you are a species that is devoted to math, and music at its core is a fucking algorithm. You know what I'm saying? It's a fucking pattern. It's repetitive. It's an algorithm. And I think that if you appreciate math, even if you've never even heard music before, you're like, holy shit, what is this? This is sounding the same on the same cycle. You know, I hear the fucking the formula in this. I think that aliens would appreciate music. I really do.
I think you're alien, bro. I think you're alien for saying that shit, bro. Because I think alien music would sound like bleep, blur, blah. I think
that's what I was thinking too.
You know what I mean? It would sound like when you signed on a computer, like in fucking in the 90s and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
it would be that one sound. Did y'all ever see War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise?
Yes.
And there's like there's that
noise.
giant. It just goes. Whoa! That was probably them playing their best song. They're like, hey, check this out. This is our best album.
Right. That's math music to me. Yeah. That's math music to me. You know what I mean?
That might be a better play. We're thinking about it from humans. We should maybe think about it from like alien. We should probably play like Tech 9. And they're fucking probably love Tech 9.
Jesus.
They'll be so in.
Yeah,
Tech 9. So in on Tech 9.
Kansas City's finest. I'm good on Tech
9. Shea, so, you know, we mentioned obviously a big week is, you know, you're pushing the book. Definitely everyone make sure you go get Hip Hop and Other Things. We're trying to close out the trilogy with another New York Times best-selling list.
Yeah, baby.
Tyler's showing the book off. I'm going to go get it on Friday. We're under the deadline for the bestseller on Friday, right?
Saturday's the last day. That's how it works. Books come out on Tuesday.
You have to buy the book by
Saturday.
You
have until Saturday.
You have to buy the book
go to
by
the store
Saturday.
And buy it.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, but the other big news, as we mentioned up top, is, you know, you have a show in development, which is, you were just talking about the book being the one person focused on it for 18 months. I know TV is the exact opposite. There's 70 people focused on it for however long. What's that experience been like for you? Is that kind of the direction you're looking to push from now on, or are you still just kind of trying, you know, everything that comes to you that you can get your hands into?
Yeah, I'm just trying to do as much shit as I can. You don't know if you like a thing or don't like a thing until you try to do the thing. And so with the TV show stuff, we actually pitched that show in 2017 for the first time. Me and this guy named Mike Schur. Mike is like a TV mastermind.
Yep.
The Good Place, The Office, Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Every good TV show you can think of the last 10 years, he was in it. He was a part of it. He created it or whatever. So Mike and I, we went and pitched this show in 2017. We pitched it to the 4 major networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox. And then luckily we got like offers from all 4 of them. So we started developing it then for ABC. And you go through like a process where you write a script, they give you some notes, you touch it up, you turn it in, and then you cross your fingers and hope. TV stations, like once a year, they will just buy up like 50 scripts. And then they pick of those 50, like 3 or 4 to make a pilot of. And then of those 3 or 4, they pick like 1 to turn into a full-on TV show. I think that's how it works. This is my first time through all of this.
Okay.
I could have just made all of that shit up. But so we worked on it for ABC. We got to the pilot part, and then that was the end of it. And they were like, you know, great try. Thanks a lot. See you later. And then that was the end. And I was like, all right, cool. And then during the pandemic, I got a fucking email from this guy named David, who is like one of those guys who moves in the shadows. And you find out like this is the guy who does everything.
He's one of those
David,
TV vampires. Yeah, for sure.
David is like a genius. Everybody loves and respects David. And he just showed up in my inbox and he's like, hey, do you still want to do that show that we were working on? And I said, well, if you and Mike are involved, like, yeah, I definitely want to do it. Because everybody kept telling me like how horrible Hollywood was. And then I got to work with those two guys. And they're like the nicest, most sincere, most like collaborative people. So I said, yeah, if y'all want to do it, I want to do it. And he's like, okay, cool. I think I'm going to like try to work on it. And then shortly thereafter, they're like, all right, we're going to do a mini room. 10 weeks, we're going to work on it. We're going to hire 9 writers. We're going to write 4 scripts in a show Bible. And we're going to turn it in to this place called IMDb TV, which is Amazon. Like if you go on Amazon Prime, that's where it is.
Amazon Prime, right?
It's just Amazon Prime, but it has commercials in it or something. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. So we did that. We worked on it for the 10 weeks. We hired our 9 writers. And then we turned in those 4 scripts to the bosses. And then we waited. And then, we waited like a month or so. And then finally, I got an email. My sons and I were at this anime Tokyo shop in San Antonio because they're super into anime. So we're down there. We're looking at fucking Naruto and Hunter x Hunter and whatever, all of the shit. One Punch Man, Dragon Ball Z. We're just like shopping, and I get an email and it says, "Hey, can you be on the phone in like 20 minutes because the network wants to talk?" And this was at 7:45 at night, and I was like, "Well, there's no way this is good news because they're just like, this is you set a meeting early on in the day in the week for like good news, and then late in the week and late in the day for bad news." And I was like, all right, cool. And I like got all prepared to be devastated. And then I got on the phone and they were like, hey, great news. We're going to make this show. And I fucking lost my mind. I was like going crazy. They're like, we're actually going to like make it. Like we're going to shoot it. We're going to cast actors and make the thing. And they were like, yes. Right. And I said, let's fucking go. This is great. And now that's what we're doing.
That's awesome.
What's the premise, if you don't mind sharing, or if you're keeping shit under wraps, I get that too. But
no, the premise is the show's called Primo, and it's about a high school junior. He's the first one in his family who has like the chance to graduate high school. Like that's how the pilot starts, with him just finding this news out. Hey, you got a chance here. He lives with his mom. His dad is out of the picture. He lives with his mom. She didn't graduate. His dad didn't graduate. But the mom has 5 brothers, these 5 uncles who have been like surrogate father figures to this kid since he was born. And each one of them has a different kind of personality. And so they all like have ideas about what his life should look like as he grows into adulthood. And so now he's trying to figure out how to like, what do I do about college? What do I do about this girl that I like? And all of the uncles are like all giving him advice from these different. It's like if you were driving and 5 other guys are like trying to grab the steering wheel and get you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the show. There you go.
Sure. I can't fucking wait to watch that shit. Honestly, like
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be
like
so
my
good.
type of show. Yeah, that sounds great.
It's gonna be really, really good. Listen, so what I did, this is like my strategy. Anytime I work on a thing, I'm like, well, let me get some people who are smarter and more talented than I am, and then just get the fuck out of the way. So when we were hiring the writers, I was just looking for people who were smarter and funnier than me. And then we got in the room and you're all just pitching jokes and ideas and writing scripts. And I was like, let me just stand in the back and like not mess this up. You know what I'm saying? Let me be James Jones on the Miami Heat. Let me like, they'll go do all the work and then I'll come in and hit like 2 shots and I get a championship
You're a
ring
glue
too.
guy. You're a glue guy.
Yeah, I'm a glue guy. This has been my like ethos for my entire life. I never wanted to ever be like the star of the team. I just wanted to be on the back of the bus after the game on the way back home, like making jokes with everybody. That's my role. That's my role on the team.
The John Sally of the shit.
That's how you designed your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what. That's where I'm aiming. Always.
For sure. So, a big part of your And Other Things trilogy, of course, is the illustrations. Arturo Torres is fucking amazing. I love his art. So how did that partnership come about? That's the Pimp C to your Bun B, the Timberland to your Missies. In this trilogy.
That's my guy.
So how did that friendship come about?
So the very first book that I did, the Rap Year book, when I pitched it originally, this was in 2000, I pitched in 2013, I think. I told them, hey, I'm going to write everything and I'm going to draw everything because I like to draw, and I had just done the coloring book. Like, I know how to do the thing. And they said, okay, cool. We're going to give you a year to write the book. And I said, all right, that works for me. But when you pitch a book, like, you have to already write like 2 chapters, like sample chapters. And when I did those took me 2 days to do because I just wrote about songs that I knew, songs that I had already researched and written about previously. So it took me 2 days to write those chapters. And they're like, all right, well, we need, we're going to give you a year. I was like, I don't fucking need a year. I need like 3 weeks. So I didn't do any work at all for like 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. I didn't even start it. And then the 9 months come around and I sit down to write the DMX chapter. And then it ended up taking me like a week because I had to read his biography, his autobiography. I had to watch all the documentaries. Suddenly I was like in book research mode. I'd never done it before. And I'm like, well, fuck, there's no way that I can write this and illustrate it. So I had to find an illustrator. I was looking everywhere I could on the internet, and I just so happened to come across a flyer that this group out of Dallas called the Outfit Texas, very great rap group. They had put a flyer out for a show, and it had some art on there. And when I saw the art, I was like, oh, yeah, this is exactly like what I'm looking for. Who is this person? There's no name on the flyer. So I hit up them. I asked them, hey, who did this? They said, oh, we don't know. Ask the manager. I hit up the manager. I said, hey, who did this? She was like, oh, it's this guy named Arturo Torres in Dallas, Texas. And I was like, when I heard the name, I was like, that's a fucking Mexican ass name right there. That's a Mexican. I know it. I know it. I know 17 Arturo Torreses. And so she connected me to him. I got him on the phone. I said, hey, this is what I want to do. I think you should draw these pictures for me. I'm going to give you a little bit of money, and then we're going to like go make a book. And it took me a while to talk him into it, but after a bit, he was like, all right, cool, let's give it a shot. Because he was at the very, very start of his career too. He was like still working at Urban Outfitters. He was doing flyers on the side just for a little bit of extra money. He was not like an official artist. This was the first big thing he did. It was the first big thing I did. But that's how it started. And then, when it was time to do another book, he was the first call I make. And he just kept getting better and better and better. If you look at the art in the Rap Yearbook, he'll be the first one to tell you it's fucking terrible. I feel the same way about the writing. If you read it, it's fucking awful. But we were growing together, and now he's one of the best artists in the country. He's doing like gigantic basketball court-sized murals for Nike. He's like all over the world. He's drawing for Google, like every big place you could think of. He's fucking running shit now. It's been great to watch. I can't wait to have the conversation where I can't afford him anymore, because it's coming. It's gonna get there eventually. We're not there yet, but we'll get there.
I love the flyer story. It's like a band in the 90s looking for a drummer or something. You know what I mean? That might be the last business connection made via physical paper in the history of the country. That might have been the final one.
It's great. He has a copy of it too somewhere still. He saved it. It's awesome when you look at it.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I actually have an Arturo piece. That's Sade piece right there. That's Arturo piece. You know what I mean? Yeah. I fuck
He's
with
very
Dude
talented.
Heavy. You posted a picture of like him and Busta Rhymes pushing Michael Myers, and I'm like,
oh yeah.
This makes no sense, but of course it makes sense with them two. Y'all are such a fire ass collaboration.
Yeah. That's what I really like about him. He's such a movie nerd, a comic book nerd, that he just is always trying to do some weird shit, and it fits with the stuff that I'm writing. He's
right.
We'll do this. I say, yeah, let's do that.
I got a question about the Spurs.
All right.
Go. Great game last night. Great game last night.
Great game.
Love the game
Terrible.
last night.
Terrible.
I want to say this, man. Without Bron too. Pop is basically running the Spurs organization. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you guys stink. Is it finally time? Like, for Pop to, give up the reins a little bit? What we thinking as a Spurs fan?
I think the guy who won you 5 championships You trust him until he says, I don't want to be trusted anymore. That's all that it is. That's the roster that we have now. This is not a roster that you put together to go make it to the second or third round of the playoffs. This is a roster you put together so that in 3 years, you're contending again for 7 years straight. Like that's what's happening. That's what's happening right now. I feel like, do y'all watch Succession?
Yes.
I tapped in this week, actually.
Okay. So always in the beginning of the season, they spend like the first 2 or 3 episodes setting up all of the pieces, and then they pay it all off. The last few, it's like a fucking sprint. It's incredible. That's how the first season worked. The second season worked. That's how this one is working too. I think the same thing is happening here with the Spurs. Pop is setting everything up so that when he's like, all right, I'm done. Here comes whoever he brings in to be the new head coach.
Becky.
We're set up. Hopefully Becky. We're set up for the next 10 years or whatever. It's going to be great. You'll see.
Very positive. I love it, man.
I love it. I love it too.
It's well, that's another question. You had was it Shea Serrano night? What did you do with the Spurs? I know you.
I just went to a game, man. I just went to a game.
Okay.
I just showed up.
I just went to a game and took a picture. It was not Shea Serrano night.
They gave out. Well, didn't they have you film something too?
Yeah. So they asked me to do the beginning of the season sort of hype up video that they play to start everything off, and then it's like a commercial in the city or whatever for a while. So I got to be the voiceover for that, which was really neat. And so that's what it was. They did that for the first game of the season. They played that at the start. And then I went to the second game when they played the Bucks, or maybe it was the third game. I don't quite remember. But I wanted to go see Giannis. And I was like, hey, let's, I want to take it's just fun to go with your family to the basketball game. My kids are super into basketball right now as well, which is great. My sister's kids, the nieces, one of them plays basketball as well. She was really into it. We fucking met R.C. Buford. Here's how much of a basketball nerd she already is. She's only like 11, 10 or 11. No, she's 10. She knew who R.C. Buford was when he came in. Yeah,
that's wild.
Laramie didn't know. My sister didn't know.
That's great.
I knew. My dad knew, and my fucking niece, my tiny niece
crazy.
Jada. She was so excited.
I could not pick that dude out of. He's a guy who I know who he is by his name, but I have no idea what he fucking looks like.
Oh yeah. I know what he looks like, and he walked in, and I was like, "Holy fucking shit! What up, R.C. Buford? This is crazy."
R.C. Buford.
I just have to imagine though that for a dude like you, who's like a regular person in a good way, that like the Spurs asking you to do a voiceover has to be cooler for you than the New York Times bestseller list, right? It's like
100%, 100%. Well, I would have traded all. I'd trade it all in just to be up on the jumbotron one time during the
Trade it all in.
The Spurs do. The San Antonio is a very Latino town, and so you go to different arenas. They have different, they have the kiss cam. They have the Lion King baby cam, which is one of my favorite ones, where you hold the baby up while they play the theme song from the Lion King. But the Spurs have a cumbia cam. Cumbia is like a dance that you do, like this Mexican dance. It's fucking great. And that's when I got to be up on the Jumbotron, and it was the best thing that ever happened in my life. Like the number one thing.
Legend shit.
That's awesome. I think that's the time we've got. Shea, thank you so much for hopping on, man. We really appreciate it. Everyone go get Hip Hop and Other Things. You have until Saturday, or Jenkins Jonez is coming to your house to fight you. We're sending the AOT trilogy off with another New York Times bestseller. So go get it now. Shea, thanks again for hopping on.